morning. Welcome on board once again. I'm your friend Olugbamiye Taiwo. Today, we are going to talk about common challenges widows face. I told you there are more pressure on widows than widowers, and that is why we are going to focus more on widows than widowers. Today, I want to talk about widows. What are the common challenges they face? Number one challenge they face is fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of what will happen to me after now. Fear of how will I move on. Fear of cultural values. This culture varies. It depends on where you marry from. When your husband died, the way the people respond to widows in different cultures varies. So we can't tell. And you don't know. Some people don't even know until their husband died before they know that this is what they do in my husband's house. So the widows dread this. How will I cope? How will I face this? They also fear, there's this fear of being isolated, fear of being abandoned, fear of being left alone, fear of being set apart by the world. As if there's a kind of stigma people place on, it's a widow. There's this fear of being pitied too. When they say you, they will say, sorry, Okwetiku, her husband has died. There's this kind of fear that, they will leave me alone, they will be pitying me. There's also fear of being called a widow. For those people that are not supposed to be on the list of widows, that are now, that the society has tagged them to be a widow because their husband is no more. So the fear of being called a widow, I'm not a widow. Even me, I said I'm not a widow when my husband died, because I don't want them to call me a widow as young as I am. So there's this fear of being called a widow. Fear of property being taken away from the wife after the death of the husband. People want to take for some of the family members, they want, it's our child that owns it, it's our child that buy it, and now that is no more, you can go. Some they even take away their children from them. Yes, take away. All this fear grips widow's heart. Another fear is fear of how to move on, fear of how to handle things on your own. Maybe you are the type that you and your husband, you do things together, and now that is no more, how do you handle it on your own? What about the children's school fees? What about house rent in places whereby you rented your own apartment? What about bills? Bills here, bills there, even buying food at home. All these fears grips their heart. Also, fear of relocation. For those people that where you are right now, you only moved there because your husband is working there when he was alive, and now that is no more, you need to go back home. Some will even have to go back to the village. Some will have to leave the apartment they are living in and rent another apartment. All these fear and many more occupy the heart of a widow. But I have a good news for you this morning. You don't need to be afraid, because God has not given unto us the spirit of fear. He has given us the spirit of love, power, and of sound mind. You only need to acknowledge your great husband, the Lord Jesus Christ, because he is the husband of the widow, the father to the fatherless, the judge of the widow. He is the one that takes care of the widow. He only needs you to acknowledge him as your Lord and acknowledge him as your husband. He will take care of you more than your husband could have done if he had to be alive. So trust God. Don't allow all these fears and many more to get into you. Look up to Jesus, the one who can stand by you even when everyone deserts you, the one who can take care of your need even when family members are saying we don't have money to pay for your children's school fees. And those of us that are around them, as brethren, as sisters, as cousins, as neighbors, encourage them. Encourage those who find themselves in this situation. Encourage them to trust God. Encourage them to move on. So please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. As the Lord is taking us through this talk, we have many things to discuss.